and welcome back to the podcast, Finally, Game Music. I am your host, Kristoffer Schenström, and this is episode 143. And the thematic of this week is summertime love. So we're getting into more of a summertime kind of feeling here, and the theme today is basically... I picked tracks today that basically sparks a little bit of summer feelings and a little bit of love to it, because it kind of comes with it. The heat is getting stronger, the nights are getting longer, we usually just stay up way too late, enjoying what we love, either with a partner, either finding a new partner, or just enjoying a game of any kind, basically. But we are usually doing what we love during this time, because we are free to do so. Well, we are free to do so whenever, wherever, but it's kind of hard to be enjoying life outside in as little clothing as possible when it's snowing outside. It's hard to get that kind of summertime feeling during winter, I'm just saying. But yeah, so for this week I picked 4 tracks that kind of sparks a little bit of summer feeling and also a little bit of love to it. And yeah, I don't know what else to go with. The upcoming episodes we're going to make is going to have some sort of hike thematic as well. So I'm going to pre-record some of these episodes, so I have a little bit of ahead of time. So there won't be any requests for the upcoming 4 episodes, because I will pre-record them as well and not do them like the final minute or something like that. But yeah, so looking forward for the 4 upcoming ones. Feel free to make comments on each and every episode. It's always fun to get to know you guys more, especially if you have music that you connect to the thematic of the episodes as well. So it's always welcome to come back and make comments on older episodes as well, because I'm always excited to get to know you guys through the video game music you listen to and the ones you like the most when you grew up or playing today and enjoying. But yeah, when I grew up, I really did enjoy Super Mario Kart, and it is one of those games you usually just sat down and played the battle mode together with your friends, and you had a great time, especially on that water level when you can get the feather and you can jump up on the walls and just stand around there and you notice your friend is getting a red shell and you're like, I'm not coming down from here until you fire that red shell off. And then he fires it off, and then you jump down and you can start chasing each other again, and you will rinse and repeat that all again when somebody else gets a feather and the other one has a red shell. So it's always exciting times. But yeah, we're not going to listen to any battle tune, we're instead going to listen to the Super Mario Kart music called Koopa Beach, but this is a demake of the song itself, so we're going to listen to an 8-bit remix by Tater Tot Tunes. And this was the 8-bit remix by Tater Tot Tunes. This was Koopa Beach from the game Super Mario Kart. And the original soundtrack here was composed by the Japanese Soyo Oka and Taro Bando. And the remix was made by the American Adam Wiz, also known as Tater Tot Tunes, who is a chiptune composer and retro arranger who lives in Florida. And I really did enjoy this arrangement. First of all, I really do enjoy the Koopa Beach track within this game, and I really do enjoy the summertime feeling that we do have with this, both track but also playable level. I really do enjoy it because you're basically driving around in like a tropical kind of a world here on the beach, and you have the beaches, you have enemies walking around. If I remember, there's like crabs walking around, but I might be a little bit mistaken because it was a long time ago since I played the original Copa Beach on Super Nintendo. The ones I usually played lastly was playing on either the Ghost House or playing on the mole tracks, which are tedious at some points and to some extent. But yeah, I really do enjoy this game, and I really like the feeling that it sparks a lot of summer feeling to it. And I really wanted, even though I love the 16-bit version of this song as well, I actually wanted to just bring forth a little bit of a demake on, because I really did enjoy this one. I was actually looking for the original song at first, but then I saw on the same page, I saw this remake, and I was like, hell to the yeah! We haven't played a lot of remakes in quite a while, and usually I am known for being like the remix master, but I've been so focused on getting original music from the original games and so on. So I thought for the summertime love, let's go wild and just get the different kind of love we can get. And I really love remixes and arrangements and so on. And I love Super Mario Kart, and I really do enjoy the Koopa Beach soundtrack. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this remake as well. So we kind of get a little bit of 8-bit love here, but we're not finished here with the 8-bit love per se, because the next song we're going into is going to be the nostalgia medley made by T. Lopez from the game Alex Kidd in Miracle World. And this was not the whole song, because the whole song is over 4 minutes long with all this nostalgia medley from the game Alex Kidd in Miracle World. So this was made by T. Lopez, and I think a couple of you guys who listen to this podcast might recognize his name. But first of all, let's head into the original soundtrack. It was composed by the Japanese Tokuhiko Uwabo. And the remix here, yes, it was made by the Portuguese T. Lopez, who was born in Portugal, but later moved on to US. And he is actually a composer, arranger, and sound designer. And the reason why I do believe you might recognize his name is because he has been working on Sonic Mania and Streets of Rage 4. So there are a couple of games other than those that are out there that he has worked on as well. So there are a couple of games that are released recently that he has been working on. So it's super interesting, and I really did enjoy going over and heading over to his YouTube account, because there's so freaking much good music over there. I highly recommend everybody who just want to have like a nostalgia trip of old games of every different kinds, and he has just remade them with his orchestral touch to it, just like this track. So when it comes to this one, why did I choose Alex Kidd? First of all, yet again, I was looking around for original music, and I started thinking about different kind of games I usually played when I grew up, and tracks that kind of bring happiness to me. And the first one that came to mind was the first song that kind of introduces you to Alex Kidd. I myself never owned a Master System, but my best friend did when I grew up. And when you had the second generation of the Master System, you could actually just close the slot instead of putting a game in. You can just close the slot and start up the machine, and you will have basically Alex Kidd on the console itself. So the console itself came with Alex Kidd in Miracle World, and we just love this game. First of all, when it comes to Alex Kidd, it's not a super violent game that you go around like Contra or stuff like that, shooting stuff or something. No, you're Alex Kidd, and you're basically punching with a fist equal to the size of yourself, and you beat bosses by playing rock, scissors, paper with them. And I just love the concept of it. I think when I grew up, this was the most bizarre game, in my opinion, when I grew up and played all those games. Well, of course, like, sports games were even more bizarre because they were like just real life stuff, but on console, and I never really enjoyed them, to be honest. But Alex Kidd, you don't have this super violent beat 'em up kind of thing. It's a platformer. You can be up on the land and you can be underwater, and when you're underwater, you still can continue to throw fists at enemies, but you don't really have to fist each and everything. And you can get a helicopter, you can ride a bike, and or motorcycle-ish. But I really do enjoy this game because it came along, and every time me and my best friend, we just loved getting to boss battles because it was so weird. It was a unique way to basically beat enemies, and everything felt so friendly and unique to that extent. And yeah, I just loved this game too, and the music is what actually stuck with me over time. So when I'm just thinking about the first song from Alex Kidd, I'm getting this summer kind of feeling. It kind of shows off an adventurous kind of spirit with the music. And when you're going down into the water, because you don't transcend like in Super Mario. So when you're playing 1-1, you had like the whole overworld theme, and then you go to 1-2, and then you get the loading screen, you're going into the pipe, and then you go, no. But in Alex Kidd, you're basically just dropping down in a free fall from World 1 and straight into water, and it switches over the music. And that was so amazing as well. I just loved it. Loved it. So when it came to this nostalgia medley, I just got nostalgia over nostalgia, just recognizing the music, and it kind of get a good glimpse of summer and excitement and adventurous life we might live during the summers, because we want to get to know new stuff. You want to explore the world, most likely, in different kind of ways. Either you want to read a new book that you've been longing to read because you never had time because work, school, everything. And maybe you just want to sit and fix your car or something like that. It's adventurous to some extent for each and every individual. And I just hope that the nostalgia medley here for Alex Kidd kind of sparked that kind of feeling. We got 3 songs out of the 4 or 5 songs that are in this medley, but I wasn't going to play the whole song itself because, yeah, I never do. And second of all, listening to a whole song is a little bit too much music, don't you think? Even though it is a nostalgia medley, and medleys usually switch a lot of the songs, unless the songs are like 30 seconds long or something like that in a medley, then I feel it's a little bit over the top playing a full song. But that comes and goes at the same time. But yeah, so the last 2 songs that we have for today is actually original songs, and I hope if you didn't like the mixes that we had in the beginning of this episode, I hope you really enjoy the 2 last ones. So we're going to play the next one, which is a theme, and it comes from Wii Sports. Yeah, and there we have it! Wii Sports and the main theme of the game. And the music here was composed by the Japanese Kazumi Totaka. And yeah, I know the Wii did not release during summer, so the game itself does not spark that much summer feeling when I played it. But when it comes to the game itself, you can play golf and stuff like that, and every game is not a game in this game that is not during summer. You have the tennis game, well, it's sunny and shit, and then you have the bowling game, you're indoors, you don't see anything anyway of environment, and then you have the golf game, always green, always super nice weather and such, and then you have boxing, you're inside, and I feel like I'm missing something, but those are the games I remember on top of my head right now. But when it comes to summertime love, I'm playing this song mainly because of the feeling I get when listening to this tune. First of all, this is a theme from the game that has been remixed a lot of times, and I wanted to go for the original one here because usually the one who remixes these ones usually make them like trance-like or really weird rock-ish style. And I wasn't too fond of it. It didn't spark the summertime love that I was after. So the feeling I'm getting when I'm listening to this one in the original composition is like running on a field, on a big open green field. You have the free space, the freedom to do whatever you like, and I do kind of want to preserve that feeling by playing this song, and I really did enjoy having this song with this thematic around it. Just kind of embracing it, so to speak. But I really do enjoy it. I really like the high-pitched part playing with the melody, and then you have the classes like we have right now in the background here. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know why, but it kind of feels like someone is going around showing you stuff. It's like, look over there, look over there, look over there. And I don't know why, but if I remember correctly, there have been people who have taken a part of this song and they made like TikTok videos of it, pointing out stuff like that. And there have been multiple amounts of different kind of TikToks videos around these type of tracks with the video game focus, and they made like game development videos around it, pointing out like usual problems within like game development itself, and I find them kind of funny because it almost becomes like a stereotype of it, and I really do enjoy it to some extent, but also getting a little bit scared at the same time because it is a problem. So I'm laughing at the problems we have, and yeah, the best thing we can do is actually just do something about it, not be assholes to each other and stuff like that. Just be kind to each other. Have this summertime love where we share with everybody the love that we have within us, and just share that love to others. And this should go back in between each and every individual, basically. Just everybody should just be happy and have a good time together. I know it's harder these times due to COVID, but people are getting more and more vaccinated at the moment, and restrictions are getting more loose, but don't lose hope. Of course, we can start going out, but don't go wild out there. Take care of yourself. Still keep distance. Don't be with like 20, 30 people. Be with like a selected few instead and have a great time and make memories, basically. That's what I'm saying. And with that said, when it comes to this game, Wii Sports, I have a lot of memories to this game, and I really do enjoy. I enjoyed the most the bowling game, mostly because it was one of the simpler games. I also love the tennis, but usually when you play tennis with other people got tired of just swinging back and forth all the time. So people weren't that excited to play tennis, even though I preferably loved it. And when it came to bowling, everybody could just sit and enjoy and play and have fun. without putting too much effort to it. So it was just the easier game to play when you had friends over. And then you have those challenges modes where, for example, in bowling, you get more and more of those pins that you're about to roll down. And I actually saw like a movie of glitches within Wii Sports, which were super hilarious, by the way. And when you play this bowling game, you cannot go into on the sides. They are blocked off, so you're always going to get some pins to some extent. And in the end, you had like 100 pins standing in a huge freaking pyramid, and it's just hilarious to watch them fall when you're hitting the bowling ball right into that. But at that point, when you are at the last stage, you can actually aim to the... you just go to the corner, step out like 2 or 3 steps, then you turn your aim a little bit to the side, so you will basically throw the bowling ball outside of the court or the field. But instead, when you're throwing it, you're going to have a little bit of spin to the left. So if you're aiming to the right, for example, you're going to have a little bit of spin to the left. When this is happening and occurs, you will basically have the bowling ball going and spinning on top of the side, so the wall is on the side. And if you can get it on top of that wall all the way to the edge where the bowling ball just falls off and don't hit anything, then you will get the bug that basically knocks down every pin in the court. So you will get a strike which is, well, basically impossible to get. And when you're doing that, when nobody else knows that bug and you're just doing it on the first try, you can just laugh your ass off and just see the faces on everybody else. They're like, oh, he's giving me the win, and then you're getting the win, and you're like, woo, gotcha. And then you never play bowling again. That what's happened to me, and yeah, nobody wants to play with me anymore. And yeah, so next game out we're going to talk about is going to be King's Quest VI. And basically we're going to listen to the romantic ballad, because when we're talking about summertime love, we're basically talking about the relationships that starts evolving during summers when everybody's just pouring out their love for each other. So we're going to listen to the love duo ballad called Girl in the Tower.
You seem so far away, and I just need to hear your voice. I just need to hear you say, if you would have me go or stay.
Soul's embrace.
If it's not meant to be this way, why do you haunt me night and day? Girl in the tower, I'm reaching
And there we have it, folks, the epicenter of the summertime love. This was the duet from the game King's Quest 6, and the theme is called Girl in the Tower. And this is a classical song, and it was composed by the American Mark Sabert, and the singers here who sang this duet was Bob Buryholt and Mark's wife Debbie Sabert. And yeah, I want to just make a giant call out here. This is not a request or something like that, personally, but the first time I ever listened to this track was through the Swedish podcast called Spelklassikermusik. And when it comes to there are two parts in this one. So we have Tobias Guellmin, who was the first part, and the other one is Andreas Hiro. And Tobias, or Guellmin, he really did enjoy the King's Quest games. If I remember correctly, Hiro kind of likes it as well, but not as much as Guellmin did. And they thought this song was super cheesy, and for some reason it kind of came to it that I don't know, remember especially if people started requesting this song because it was super cheesy, and yeah, this song came over and over again on the podcast as like a joke or running gag to each other, and everybody just enjoyed this song. And at one point, me and my friend SPE, we did a challenge to them, and I don't remember the challenge specifically. If it was like, if they're going to sing Girl in the Tower, that will say, if Guellmin and Hiro was singing Girl in the Tower, then me and SPE would do like an honorable singing song towards the podcast. And they delivered. They freaking delivered. So it was so much fun listening to Guellmin and Hiro going on a love duet with Girl in the Tower, because of the song has been in the podcast so freaking much. And I just felt the love through the headphones while I was listening. And yeah, me and SPE delivered as well, made our own theme for them. We basically just remade the text for Indestructible, no, it's not Super Street, it's Street Fighter 4, and the main theme from that game. And we just made like new lyrics and reworked everything, and then we recorded it, and then just, hey, what happens. And I hope we did deliver on that one as well for Hiro and Guellmin. It was just super hilarious time. I just enjoyed that podcast. And the reason why I'm playing this song is basically just as a request from myself, that I basically made this podcast when they closed down theirs. They had over 300 episodes. It was one of my favorite podcasts of all time, the one I've been following mostly. Other podcasts, I usually get tired of them, or the podcast themselves stops, just like Spelklassikermusik did. And I felt that something was missing in my life, and that is why I kind of took up the banner and continued what was Spelklassikermusik, but under my own flag and my own unique take on what I wanted to do with a podcast focusing on video game music. So this is just like a drawback to that podcast, and I really want to say, if Hiro and Guellmin, if you're listening, thank you so much for making me do this, making me continue with podcasting as well, because you guys really did inspire me to do so. There are a couple of other podcasts as well, but you guys were a big part of it, and I really did enjoy and still enjoy talking to you guys still. But I really did enjoy your podcast. You did a great job. And I do miss you. It would be super fun to just hear you guys talk again about music. You should do like a get together, do one podcast episode just to kind of bring back the old guys together. You know, I know it kind of is a little bit too much to ask for, but it would be hilarious to do so and just have one extra super podcast. Anyway, this song is, as I said before already, and as Guelmin and Hero has pointed out, it's super cheesy. And of course, when it comes to Summertime's Love, everything comes with cheesiness, of course. I mean, we're like hopeless romantics, I guess, everybody, to some extent. And we're kind of weird and geeky in our own ways as well. And I don't know why, but there's something with this song that is just... It strikes our hearts, I guess. And when Mark made this one, he basically wanted to make like a top Billboard love duet song. They never really got that far, and not many people know about The Girl in the Tower unless you played this old game that released back in '92. Like me, myself, I have not played this game, so the only reason why I actually know this song and game is because of that podcast. So yeah, that is like my experience from this. But I really do enjoy this song. It's super cheesy, but I still love it. And yeah, that is it. So I hope you did enjoy the different tunes I chose for this week. That kind of sparked a little bit of summertime love, I hope. If you think I failed, then I want to hear your songs that you would love to have in a Summertime Love episode, because I didn't get any requested songs for this episode. So I'm just curious, what would your Summertime Love songs be if you could choose? So feel free to just comment on this episode as soon as you get the time, even if you're like 2-3 days, 4 days after you listen to this, even if you're listening to this 1 year, 2 years, X amount of years after the release of this episode, I still want to hear your guys' opinion by you guys commenting on this episode. Or at the latest one, just saying, hey, I just listened to your episode 143. I really feel like Summertime Love is sparked by this feeling, and then post that song that you get the feeling of. And I would just love to hear that one. So yeah, other episodes of Finally Game Music, you'll find those on Videospelsklubben.se, Spotify, or in your closest podcast app. You can feel free and follow and comment on one of our social medias, either on Facebook or on Instagram, and just search for Finally Game Music and you will find the little profile there. And if you would like to hear your name within one of these episodes, then feel free to request a song for an upcoming episode by commenting on any of the social pages or through our VSK Discord. And yeah, it's a little bit special on the upcoming episodes as well, but I would just love for you guys to just comment on those episodes coming up. And I don't know when I will be recording these specifically, so it's hard for me to kind of collect informations in the right time and kind of grasp them. So let's just say that we will have a conversation for the upcoming episodes through the comment fields. I think that will be the easiest way for it to happen, I think and believe. But yeah, I have some themes for them at least, so, and I don't know really where I want to go with those themes per se. I already chosen them, so I just need to choose and go with all the music to it. But yeah, I have put themes on them, and you can always like throw out songs that you believe kind of spark your feeling for these kind of themes that we have. Or maybe if it's too hard, I don't know. Maybe I made it just too hard for myself. I have no freaking clue, but I hope I have some sort of good kind of feeling to it, which hopefully will work. But anyway, if you want to support this podcast for future content, quality updates and such, and in the end also for future composers, then try to become a Patreon on our Patreon page. And the current awesome Patreon backers that we have today is Mikael Sjöberg, Andreas Nilsson, and Daniel Onemark. And also, if you are a recurring Patreon backer for a longer period of time, sometimes as I get guests on the podcast, I usually can get like Steam codes for games. I can maybe get a signed copy of a soundtrack or something like that. And we usually use those in raffles over at the Patreon. So by backing, you're supporting the podcast foremost. But at the same time, you will be able to get some prizes for free, basically. But yeah, so I would just love to have more backers if you are able to, and if you do enjoy this podcast and you want to support what I'm doing, then feel free there. And also, if you are a longer backer as well, then I will also send you either a t-shirt or a mug, depending on what I have. But you will have that logo of the podcast on it. So that is a little bit of a thank you note to people who have been supporting the podcast for a longer period of time. And, well, I think that is it, basically. Links to where you can either buy or support the composers behind the music, you will find those over at our main post on videospelsklubben.se. So, the upcoming theme that we have for this summertime, so it's going to be 4 episodes. I've structured them in some sort of a chapter kind of wise thing, but they go under the main theme of the Summer Hike 2021. And the first chapter is going to be called The First Hike. So this is basically the beginning of the journey. That is basically what I'm going with the first theme. So if you want to talk a little bit about the first kind of journey, I just want to hear basically your first kind of game where you headed into an epic adventure, maybe. Maybe it could have been the first Zelda game, for example. Maybe you played Kirby and felt an adventure there. I just want to go with first hike, some sort of first adventure. Maybe we're going to talk about the first games within bigger series, such as Zelda, for example. Or maybe we're just going for, like, the short hike, for example, the game, which was super simple and I would say sincere as well. It was just super calm and sincere. I really did enjoy that one. It's almost a little bit too short, but it was just super sweet, and I just loved it. But yeah, so next week we're going to enjoy Summer Hike 2021, and it's called The First Hike. And with that said, do take care, everybody, and have a nice week. I am so sorry. That is not actually the ending of the episode, so rewind! Yes, we actually did have one request this week, and I'm actually making I didn't want to record this episode twice, so I'm basically putting at the end of the episode as a bonus track instead. I'm actually super sorry that I totally missed this comment. I saw this one, I had so much with work and such, so I was like, I'll fix this one later, so I'll sign it up until my schedule and so on, and fix everything with the comment and preparations and everything. And Karuchi, you know I did not answer the comment that you sent as I usually do over at Patreon, so I'm so sorry that I did miss returning the call and not entering this song sooner in the episode. So yeah, we did get a requested song for this week. It was by Karuchi, or Daniel Unemark, over at Patreon, and he wrote like this: for those sweet summer tunes, you really don't need anything other than Super Mario Sunshine's soundtrack for that. Summer vibes galore. Oh, and then there's Outrun. Those are some catchy summer tunes, but the best one is probably Magical Sound Shower, with the best version being Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. You really can't go wrong with any of the versions of Magical Sound Shower though. It is lit! And I can definitely agree to that. So rolling out this week is going to be this Outrun song. But first of all, since this is going to be the end tune for this week, and since we already played everything and this is a bonus track, we can already tell that the soundtrack composers for this game is the Japanese Hiroshi Kawaguchi, Yasuhiro Takagi, and Fumio Ito. And Hiroshi is the one who actually composed and arranged the Magical Sound Shower song. And with that said, do enjoy the last song, which is basically the bonus, because I totally missed it. Still, I'm sorry. We make mistakes. Don't be angry at me. But please enjoy Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast Magical Sound Shower.